Okay, it's October the 2nd. It's flounder time. I think in the first tutorial I talked about equipment for flounder. I want to use a heavy rod, or medium to heavy is the lowest I want to go. I want to have a strong rod so I can really stick that flounder. I'm using 15-pound test mono, but the option would be, a better option would probably be using braid, because braid has no memory. Once you stick him, the flounder's stuck. I'm using a number 5 barrel swivel and 30-pound test shop leader, 3 8-ounce jig head with a long shank. That's a pearl white night glow 4-inch gulp imitation shrimp with a chartreuse tail. And I'm fishing from the bank at the Corps of Engineering, but this could be any bank or even wade fishing. The technique I use, I choose the area, potential bait. You can see the elevation, the incline up. You got the first gut there, and the first sandbar. That gut is about 2 or 3 feet deep on a low tide. And you got the sandbar out there, which is about a foot on top of the sandbar. You just saw a little bait go by. There's a little bait in the water, which I like. There's a little movement. It ought to be turning around now, incoming tide. But if you can check that boat ramp out of there, over there, it's pretty low right now. I don't do too good on a low tide with flounder this time of year, early in the season. But later on, when the full-blown run, it doesn't matter low or high tide. I started making my casts at this little bouncing, a little jigging, jig and bounce, jig and drag, jig and swim. And my motto for flounder is low and slow. Keep it low and slow. That's your presentation. Just remember, low and slow. That doesn't necessarily mean your rod is low. That means you're keeping the bait low to the water. Let it hit the bottom, and that's why I like this 3 8-ounce jig head. It gets to the bottom really quick. And what I try to do, I'll fan my cast. If I'm going to my right, if I'm gonna work toward my right, I'm gonna go clockwise, and I'm gonna try to make my cast as close as possible at first. That means inches away. If you can make accurate casts, and just remember where you cast the last time. And I'll scan the water while I'm casting. If I see any nervous bait or schools of bait or bait spraying, I'll just go away from my technique and just start casting in that area where it's potential fish. But this is my fundamental way of trying to work the water for flounder. I'll cast as far as I can. I'll work the water as far as I can with my rod and reel before I even take a step. Either direction, but I'm going to the right, to that boat dock, because there's rocks and there's structure. And I've just pointed out 3 areas where these flounder might try to ambush my bait. In that gut, coming up on the elevated incline upward, and on that sandbar as it drops back off. And if you're fishing for the bank, or even when you first get in the water wade fishing, you don't have to make very long casts. The fish are usually there in those areas. And I'll just bounce. Bounce and jig. Jig and bounce. And I'll work that till I get to that structure over there. But I just want to show you another way. I'll drag it and lift it, drag it and lift it, and sometimes I'll just drag it on the bottom to stir them up, to shake that water up. Get really aggressive with it. I just keep on casting clockwise. I usually don't work this fast, but for the video I work a little bit faster. See, I'll let my line go down to the water. This is my looping way. I'll just loop it. Let my line touch the water. If my line is touching the water, I know that bait is on the bottom, and I'll just bring it up. They like this action too. Now you got 3 ways. That's 3 ways right there. And you just keep on trying different techniques until you get a bite. Sometimes I'll mix it up. And just remember which presentation they like the best. And that's the whole idea behind for catching flounder, the presentation. Get that bait down to them low and slow, low and slow. And when you get to an area where you think they are, you can slow down a little bit more. Try to get to that covered area. I saw some bait there, so I'm gonna ignore my regular fundamental way and just go straight to that point. I'm not gonna waste any time. There it is. She sprayed up. That's some bait in there. That could have been a sand trout, a croaker, a whiting, but that's an area, what I would call an area of interest. And that was really close to the bank, no more than 10 feet. I don't want to cast right into the spot. I'm going to cast a few feet from that spot and bring it back. Hold my rod up and just jig it. Try to keep it in that strike zone. Try to keep it in that zone where I saw the bait. That's a flounder, and she found a good spot. She found a good spot for cover. She'll feed and settle back down into that spot because that spot was successful to her. So she's not going to move. She came up to feed, and she's going to go right back down to that spot. She's not going to chase that bait. She's going to hit that bait and settle back down into that area where she got her feed. So you work that spot. You work that spot over. She might be still trying to swallow what she just kill and swallow what she just attacked. So you got to give her some time and hope she's got a family member near her. Sometimes those fishes stack up. So you find an area of interest, you have to be very, very patient. And when you're fishing for the flounder, if you feel any tap, stop. Just like that. I got one on right now. I got one on. You want to stop and let her eat. I let my rod down. I let my rod down. Give her some time. I want to feel for her. I think I got a one on. Set that hook. There you go. Got one on. That's how you do it. Get a nice flounder. Nice flounder. Nice big flounder. Nice big flounder. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And that's how you catch those nice southern flounder. About 18 inches. And that's the technique you use to catch those flounder.